Yo, what's up everybody? My name is ATO. Today we're going to be building a simple navbar in ReactJs. Anytime I start a new project, I always have this problem of building navbar. It requires a little bit of time and it really sucks to build. So today we're going to be building a quick navbar. Let's take a look at what we are going to do today. So this is what we are going to be building. You see we have a simple navigation bar here. When you click on an item, it takes you to a new page and you see the active color here. And the navbar is fully responsive, so we can minimize the window and we see the menu items disappear, and it gives birth to this nice menu bar that we can click on and see our menu. So yeah, fully responsive navbar that we're going to build today. So let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do is creating a new React project in VS Code. So you go ahead and select the folder in which you want to store your project files. I'm just going to do it real quick. Okay, so to create a new ReactJs project, we are going to use the npx create react app command, and I'll name the project Navbar tutorial. It's going to take a little while to create a project, so just be patient. I'll forward this video to when it finishes creating the project. Now that our command has finished running, we'll go ahead and open the folder. You can just do a cd to your project file name, but I prefer opening it manually, so you can do whichever fits you. Tutorials, Navbar tutorial, and now we have our project open. So the first thing we are going to do is we'll delete the useless files we don't need, so we delete this. If I'm going too fast, you can just slow down the video and delete it along with me. We are going to get rid of this. We'll get rid of the logo. We'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of this. And we're good to go. Oh no, we get rid of the additional CSS here. All this CSS, we get rid of all this. And yeah, now when you finish deleting all the useless folders, we'll hit npm start. I already have something running, so I'm going to open it on a new port. Yes. Let me go ahead and delete all of this. You know what? I'm going to leave the final project open. So we have this here. Okay, we have a blank web page, so we can start. The first thing we're going to do is that we are going to create the folders we are going to need. So we'll create a component folder. We'll create the pages folder. Oops, I created a file. Create a folder instead. Create a pages folder. Then in the pages folder, we're going to add the navbar.js file. Then the navbar.css file. Then in the pages, we're just going to have the home page, home.js. We'll not have any CSS files for this. It's just going to be very simple pages. So we have the about us.js, the contact us.js, and let's just have the last file, which is going to be the sign-in.js file. Then we are going to insert our boilerplate code. To do this, you use the rfce command. If you can't use the rfce command, it means you need to install the extension. So you go ahead to the extension tab, you just tap React, and there is this ES7 Plus extension that's going to show up. You click on it and install it. I already have it installed, so I don't need to install it again, but you go ahead and install it. In the navbar, we use the rfce command to generate this boilerplate code. We'll do same for the about file. We'll do same for the contact us, the home, and the sign-in. So now we can start adding our code to the navbar. So the first thing we're going to do is inside the div, we are going to add our elements. So we use an unordered list. Inside the unordered list, we'll add the list elements, which are going to be our navigation menu items. So our nav menu items is made up of 4 items. That is the logo, 3 items in the middle, and the sign-in buttons. like we can see here. So we have the navbar, home, about us, contact us, and so 5 items. So we're just going to duplicate this 4 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're good to go. So now, since as we can observe from here, the menu items are clickable, so they are basically links. We are going to install a library called React Router DOM. We'll use the npm install command and install React Router DOM. This should just take a second to install, so you just wait patiently for it to install and you're good to go. Yes, finish installing. It just took me about 5 seconds, I think. So what we're going to do here right now is we're going to import link and nav link from React Router DOM. So inside our list elements, we are going to first add the link. This link component is going to be for the logo. So we just call it Navbar. You can call it whatever you like. So instead we'll duplicate this and paste it here. Then for the list items, we're going to use the nav link. So we'll just replace this navbar by the names we want. So we're going to add home. What else? About us, contact us, sign in, sign up. Okay. About us. Contact us. Sign in here. And sign up. So if we open what we have done right now, we see that the page is still blank. It's blank because we have not put it into our app.js file. So to do this, we are going to import React Router. So first import browser router as router from React Router DOM. We are doing this because we earlier used the link component, and the link component is only able to display inside the router component. So we're going to add the navbar here. And if we open in a browser, refresh it, you see that nothing has changed. Why is that? Oh, this is just because we haven't added the to attribute to the link component. So we're going to add to. You'll add about us here. Contact us. Sign in. And sign up. We are putting the sign up. We are going to see later on why we put the sign up before the sign in. So we're going to add the class names to our tags. So for the div tag, we'll add class name equals to nav. For the unordered list, we'll put class name equals navbar wrapper. For the list elements, we are going to add here nav logo, and the elements in between, we're going to put nav elements. We just copy this. The sign up is going to be different from the other elements, so we're going to use a different class name. We'll call it nav button. So we can save this, and let's check our file. Okay, we see this is what we have added so far. Now all we have to do is add some CSS. So we first import the CSS file. We'll say import .navbar.css. We can target all of these class names in the CSS file. So let us put it side by side to see what we are doing exactly, what we are doing, so we can see the changes in real time. So let's head over now to our CSS file and add the CSS. So we start with a .nav. we justify the content to center, text align, center. You can already see how our elements are changing. Put a background color. You can just go ahead and copy the color we used, or you can add yours, it's no problem. We set a padding 30 pixels, 170 pixels, 30 pixels, and 170 pixels. Then for our unordered list, which has the class name Navbar wrapper, you set the list style type to none. In order to remove these dots, set the margin to 0, padding 0, justify content, center. We can observe that our component is not taking up all the space of the page. So to solve this problem, we head over to our index.css and set the margin to 0. This is going to fill up this gap that was here. Now we continue with our styling. We target the nav logo right now. We are just going in order. As you can see, we started with the nav, then the nav bar wrapper, then the nav logo. We set float to left. Font size, we're going to set font size to 25 pixels. Font weight to 900. We're going to make it thick. The margin, set the margin negative 8 pixels, 2 pixels, 1 pixel, 15 pixel. Then for the we're going to add a little transition. This is going to be helpful when we'll be minimizing the page. Transition is going to be async, and we'll style the nav elements. Oops. Set display inline, justify content center, text align center, align item center, font weight 200, and finally the padding 10 pixels, 20 pixels, 10 pixels, oops, pixels, 10 pixels and 20 pixels. We can have the same result if we just do 10 pixels, 20 pixels. We add a nav button, have float right, background color. I don't know if you call this red or pink, but for me this is going to be red. The border radius 20 pixels. The padding is going to be 10 pixels. Oops. 10 pixels and 20 pixels. For the margin, we're going to have negative 8 pixels. We'll just copy this here, paste it, and change this 15 pixels here to 2 pixels. Let us go ahead and add a class name to our links. So we are going to give it a class name of link. We'll copy it here and paste it everywhere. Now we are going to target the link element. So now we can remove this ugly line and these ugly colors here. So we'll have a text decoration of known, a color of white, and this looks already so much better. And now we can have an active color. The active color here is so that when we have an item selected, it can be highlighted. This makes it possible thanks to the navlink element. So we can target an active class directly without having it set here. This is one of the advantages of using the navlink over the link. That is why we're using the navlink for the items and the link for the logo. So we're going to have cursor pointer. The color for the active is going to be red. Border radius. No, we don't need the border radius. We're just going to leave it as it is. As we can see, the active works. is setting the sign up to active and changing the color, but we don't want this. We're going to fix it later on. Now we have our navbar already looking quite good. It's responsive, but now we want that when it reaches a certain width, all of this item goes and it gives a hamburger menu. So we are going to do this right now. So right now we are going to go to our navbar components and add the menu. To do this, we are going to install a simple library called the React icons. So tap npm install React icons and wait for it to install, and it's finished. As we can see from our final product here, we need this menu icon and the cross icon. So after our unordered lista, we are going to add the GI hamburger menu icon. We go ahead and import it. Then we copy it and paste. Then add the IM cross icon. So now we are going to use a little bit of logic here. We'll pass in click and its click as props. Then we'll create a function called handle click, which is just going to do a very simple thing. It's going to change the boolean from true to false anytime we click on the menu. Anytime we click on the menu icon. So we'll set its click here to the reverse of clicked. So whatever clicked is going to set it to the reverse. So if it's true, set it to false. If it's false, set it to true. We can add a console.log, but we are not going to do it. So now here, we are going to check if click is true or false. Then render an icon. We'll check if click is true. If click is true, it renders the menu. If click is false, it will render the cross icon. So this is going to be a ternary operator. We're going to add a question mark, and after the column is going to be the else statement. So if click is false, display the hamburger icon, else display the cross icon. Now I have the onClick event here with the method handle click. We'll just copy this here and paste in the cross icon. We are going to have this here. So this is what we have so far. It doesn't yet look so good, but we are going to see how everything is going to shape up. So in order to make the menu items to disappear when the screen reaches a certain height, when the screen reaches a certain width, we are going to use media queries. Media screen and max width. We'll set the max width to 900 pixels or 925 pixels. Then we're going to target the nav. We'll reduce the padding to 25 pixels. 25 pixels by 0 pixels by 25 by 0. Again, this can be simplified to 0 and 25. We see that when we minimize it here, it changes the navbar's position from here to the far left. We'll head over to the nav element, and this is where it gets interesting. We set display here to none. So when we minimize this, we see that all of the elements in the nav menu goes, and we are only left with the sign up and the hamburger menu. But even the sign up, we don't want the sign up to appear, so we are still going to set the nav button to none. So we'll target the nav button here, and we're going to set display to none. Then we'll head over to the navbar.js. We'll add a class. We'll give a class name to the icons. We're just going to give it icon. Class name here, icon. And then in the navbar.css, target the icon. Then out of the media query, we're also going to target the icon. This is because if the element, as we can see when we maximize the screen, the icon still shows, but we only want the icon to show when it reaches a certain width. So we are going to set the initial display to none. We set the color to white, the font size to 25 pixels, make it a little bit large, and we'll set the cursor to pointer. Then inside the media query, we'll set the display to inline. As we can see, our icon appears when the screen is minimized, and when it's maximized, it goes away. So we have our desired behavior. Now let us style this a little bit for it to look better. Let's push the icon to the left. We'll set the position to relative, and we'll set left to 32%. Let's say to 35% for it to be a little bit over to the left. Okay. Now we have a good looking menu so far. Now when we toggle the menu, we want this icon here to switch from the hamburger icon to the cross icon. So we're just going to do this very simply. We head over to the app.js file. We'll use a React hook called useState. Call it clicked and is clicked. Click here is like a variable and is clicked is like the function. So we're going to use useState and set it to false. We'll go ahead and import the useState. To do this, I just hit Ctrl plus space and I click on import. So I'm going to set click here to clicked and is clicked to is clicked. I'm able to pass in these props here because, as we can remember, inside our Navbar components, we pass in the props here. So inside the app.js, we're able to pass these props directly inside the component. So we already have our toggle working. So when we click on the hamburger menu, it switches to the cross and vice versa. So now we can create the menu. For this, I'm not going to write all of the CSS. You're going to see the code on my GitHub, because the CSS for the menu is quite similar to what we did on the navbar. So we are just going to add the navbar, and you can just copy the CSS code for the menu and paste it. So we'll have here RFCE, and we will import menu.css. So similarly to what we did in the navbar, we start by importing. We import navlink from React router DOM. Then we are going to add our menu items. We'll start by adding div. We'll give it a class name of navbars. Then we add an unordered list. We give it a class name of navbar wrappers. Then we add our list items. Give it a class name here of nav element. I'm just going to call it navbar element. And inside the leaf items, we'll add our nav link. We'll give it a class name again of link. Oops. Give it a class name of link. Then we set the path. Since this is going to be the home, the path is going to be the backslash, and the path is going to be the empty backslash. We copy this and paste so we can just modify it. Paste, paste, paste. So now we are going to add our CSS code. We'll head over to my GitHub page. The link is in the description. We'll go to source, we'll go to components, we'll go to menu.css, select raw, just press Ctrl A, Ctrl C to copy everything, and come and paste it over here. So now, as you can see, even after clicking on the menu, nothing shows up. This is because we have not added it in our app.js. So we're going to add it in our app.js file right now. Here we're going to do something really simple as we did for the menu icons. We'll check if click is true. If it is true, we are going to insert the menu. Then if it is false, we're going to insert null. So now we see that when we click on the menu, it brings up our menu. So we see something weird is really happening right here. Let us check and see what's the problem. It shows that we have not added our paths. So we add about us here, contact us here, sign in here, and then sign up. So we see it works right now. And for the sign up needs to be different from the others. So in our menu.css, we see that we have a nav button. We have a nav button class name, but we have not inserted it here. We are going to remove the class name here and add nav button. And then here we are going to have the link button. So now we have our nice sign up button here. And we have our navbar working. So what we have to do at the end now here is let us link all of these menus to actual pages so we can confirm that all of this is working. So let's maximize the page and see if it's actually working. We see now that we have a responsive navbar. When we click on the menu icon, it brings up the menu. And if the menu is still open and we maximize the page, we see that it goes away. So let us just add the pages let us just link the pages quickly to the path. We are going to do something really simple in order to center the content of our pages. What we'll do is that we are going to add a style here. We'll set text align to center and the padding top to 300 pixels. We'll do it for all the pages. Let's go ahead and maximize this thing to make it faster. We'll do it for all the pages. And for the sign in, we'll go into our app.js. What we need to do here is we need to add the routes. We'll import it here, import routes, and then we import routes. So inside the routes, we are going to have the routes without S. So we are going to link each path to its pages here. So we'll have exact path here. We are going to leave this one empty because it's going to be linked to the home page. So we have the elements here and home. We'll copy this, paste it twice, and then import the components. So here we're going to have the contact us. Here we'll have the about us. As you can see, Visual Studio automatically shows us what to import. So this is very convenient. Then we have the sign-in page here. For the path, we'll have contact us. We're going to have about us. And we are going to have sign in. Yeah, so this is pretty much it. Let us test what we just did. So here, as we can see, if we are on the contact us, when we click on the navbar, it brings us directly to the home page, and the home element here is highlighted. So let's change the font family because it looks a little bit ugly. I think the default font family always looks very ugly. Let's just put any random font family. You can put something that looks better later, but I'll just show you how to change the font family. So going on to the index.css, we add font family, and let's select Verdana, and we observe the changes. Yeah, it looks so much better. Let us just change the font size of the home. So we're just going to set this to H1 as sign in. So let's go ahead and see our navbar. We have a nice looking navbar. We see that we can select all of the icons: sign in, contact us, home. Then we can minimize the page too. We bring down the menu. So this is our little navbar we have made. So you can modify this, you can tweak this the way you want. If you like, you can put the sign in to the left as we did this way. Okay, that's a little assignment you can do. Just put the sign in here to the right. Yeah, you can do a lot of designs with the navbar. You can do a lot of stuff. You can put the menu items, all of the menu items to the left, to the right, and yeah, you can be very flexible with your navigation menu. And you can even do a different menu after minimizing it. So there are so many options, but this is just like a basic way of doing it. So yeah. So thanks for watching this quick tutorial. I hope this was very helpful. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't like it, still leave a like. I'm sure you learned something. If you want to see any other tutorials or any other kind of videos about front end, back end, anything, just write in the comment section. Hit the subscribe button and see you in the next one. Like this video, share it, and see you in the next one.
From the coast, I'm hella wavy. I'm insane on my lane, making moves daily. Stay green, I'm alive, become like a movie. What I'm saying, what you know, these niggas hate it.